Hi everyone, and welcome to the 12th and final session of the webinar series we've been giving on how to leverage your mailing list to sell books. In today's session, we're going to take everything we've learned over the course of this entire series and put it to use to have a successful book launch. This will not only include suggestions about how to promote your new release to your mailing list, but I'll be touching upon some publishing techniques, and we'll cover some price points, as I know a lot of authors are always deliberating over how much to charge for their books. Hopefully I can help demystify this process. And one less thing for you to worry about, right? I'm all for making life a little more simple and stress-free. So, oops, I'm clicking in the wrong spot. One client, take two. One house cleaning issue. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about the changes that Amazon has made to their community guidelines for ARCs and reviews. For those who haven't, I'll give you a quick recap. Basically, they're cracking down on people who have abused the review system, and they've bribed and coerced people into leaving reviews in exchange for free items. Now, Amazon feels that people are more inclined to leave 4- and 5-star reviews if they get items for free. And even though they say that ebooks are somewhat left out of this scrutiny, they are still being strict about ebooks as well. As a result, I have had to make some changes to my own review policy to be sure I'm in compliance, and I've sent a message out to my review team bringing these changes to their attention and providing some alternative wording to their ARC statement. So where before people were saying, I received this ARC in exchange for my honest review, reviewers instead are saying things like, I voluntarily reviewed this ebook given to me. We're splitting hairs. I mean, it's ridiculous, but I get it, okay? Or similar wording, okay? So I share a lot of my own, I have shared a lot of my own policies and what I'm doing with my review team when I encouraged all of you to build your own review team. And that's why this is a housekeeping issue. I want to be sure that that information that I shared before is corrected. So in my own policy, I've told my reviewers there's no longer a 30-day deadline. In all honesty, I mentioned that to put a fire under their butt, but I never really enforced it. All I did was basically make a note in their files if there was a particular deadline that I was requesting that was due for like a last-minute review, or I need this posted on the first week of my release. I just didn't invite them the next time I needed a review on a short notice. The ones that did give me on a short notice, I also make those mentions as well. And I'll sometimes put those in. I've already created another group that says we'll review on short notice, and they've come through for me on things like that. So that's another group you can add to your main, a subgroup you can add to your main group on that hidden review group that we talked about before, ones that have left reviews and ones that are able to leave reviews on a quick notice. So, so just let you know that's something I've modified, and I'll put that in the handout in regards to the review team. And then, just so you know, I had to take that out of my policy, and I don't put that pressure on them anymore. I don't say they have to have it done in, 30 days. Now, all reviews should be voluntary. As mentioned in the previous slide, the reviewers are starting to use this verbiage in their review statements for free books. However, what I'm also referring to here is the procedure I do for my own review team. The members of my team get their first book for free, and it's the book that I give to everybody who joins my reader club, which is my lead magnet. Now, they're not pressured to leave a review for that particular book, nor are they pressured to leave a positive review. They're just requested to leave an honest review. Now, it's up to them if they want to leave a review or not. I've got 800 people on my team, and only 100 of them have actually started leaving reviews. So obviously not everybody leaves a review and they all get a free book there, but so does everybody else in my list, so it's no sweat off my back. I do request, however, that if they want to receive another free ebook from me, they just need to send me a link to a review that they've already done. The books they get are not connected to the reviews they leave. The reviews I get links for are for other books of mine. Any review of any of my books will do, so the review was already left. They're just sending me a link to a review to get another free book. They don't have to review that one either. Now, admittedly, this method does indeed fall into a very gray area. Okay, I've told my reviewers that they will never be kicked from my team for leaving a 1, 2, or a 3-star review. Although I will question why they want to keep reading books they don't like. Okay, in fact, I let my reviewers know that I'm not afraid of low star ratings. Reviews look suspicious and skewed when they're all 4 and 5-star reviews, and no lower ratings are available, so don't be afraid of the lower ratings. Obviously, if they're predominantly bad reviews, you have to question your writing and to a certain degree, and you need to re-examine your book. So regardless of whether you have too much or just a few, both ways they work to your advantage. So use that. Don't be afraid of those lower ratings, okay? The words I keep hearing that reviewers should avoid are ARC and exchange. Now, though it is not necessarily fact, the rumor is these are the words that Amazon is targeting as the reviews they're taking down. But you know Amazon, they'll remove something, they'll tell you you're in violation of the guidelines, and then they'll point back to the rules. But they almost never cite the specific violation, even if you ask them. They're purposefully vague so they don't get themselves into legal hot water. All right, so just be aware of that. I'm including these last 2 statements that I'm going to make here because I have seen many authors using bribing techniques for reviews and purchases. For example, purchase a copy of my book and send me the receipt, and I'll include you in my drawing. That is a huge no-no. Have you ever heard of a contest that says no purchase necessary to enter? Well, that's because it's illegal. You can't do that for reviews either. Okay, so you can't say, review this book and I'll enter you in my drawing. Amazon not only considers that coercion, but they also think that influences whether or not you're going to do a better review. Now, here's the other thing too. It's like J.K. Rowling, for example. If any of you are members of Pottermore, I just got an email from them the other day saying, hey, we've got a giveaway. You could actually win tickets to the premiere of Fantastic Beasts and where to find them. So I got all excited. I go there and they say, oh, by the way, you can contribute to J.K. Rowling's new charity called Lumos. So I go over there, and the way the entry form is set up makes it look like you have to give a donation, a minimum of $10, in order to get a ticket. I'm like, what? I don't know if they do things different in the UK, but you can't do that here. So stuff like that makes people really suspicious. And even though it says somewhere on there that it says no purchase is necessary, and they say that in the email, boy, does it make me go, gee, I almost want to purchase the $10 minimum just to make sure I get included in the drawing. So I just kind of go, it just taints the whole process, okay? So don't do it. Just don't. It just, whether or not they're really playing by the rules, just don't do it, you know? Okay, so, and you cannot tell a reviewer that you'll reimburse them for the book, the ebook they buy if they leave a review. Authors have been trying to get reviewers to buy the book so they get that verified purchase tag. And then once the reviewer sends the link to the review to the author, or the author then reimburse them for the cost of the book. That's bribing, and that's a big no-no, and that's also buying reviews, okay, which John Locke got in like huge trouble for doing this, okay? So big no-no, don't do that, okay? There are indeed some gray lines, and Amazon is cracking down mostly because of scammers. But there are many authors that are trying to game the system. And no matter what happens, people are going to game any system, and it sucks for the rest of us who are trying to earn an honest living. Okay? Any questions about this new policy that Amazon has going on? Now, I'm not an expert, but I am passing on what I've learned and how that affects your review team. Any questions, any statements, maybe that I said something here that you went, no, that's actually wrong. Okay, no comments. Looks like we're ready to move on here. Okay, let's dive into today's session. Everything you've learned during the course of this webinar series is, wait a minute. Okay, great. Thanks, Liz. You're very welcome. I'm glad I could pass it on. All right, so let's dive into today's session. Everything that you've learned during the course of this webinar series is designed to keep selling books for you as you continue to write more books. From book funnels to building your mailing list and selling your backlist to them and using your giveaway to build exposure and keep building your list. All of these are meant to keep that money coming in. But they're also used to help you prepare your readers for your next release. And as we go along, you'll start to see the method behind the madness that we've had all along. For all those authors who may have tried to use their mailing list in the past to launch a new release, and your efforts may not have been as great as you were hoping, I'm hoping by the end of this session you'll have a better idea of what you can do, maybe what went wrong, and even get you more excited about your new release. Now, I know that's kind of silly. We're always excited about our new release, right? That's one of the things that we're just like, we got a new book coming out, okay? All right, so we'll talk a little bit about that excitement, okay? But how can you possibly get more excited? You'll see. All right, now I know I'm Captain Obvious here, but what we're trying to do with the new release drip campaign is to drive sales. As we mentioned way back in the beginning of the series, statistics show that you'll get more sales through your mailing list than you will in social media. So it's your mailing list that you want to be selling to. That's the whole purpose of what we've been doing in all these webinars, is building that fan base, that inner circle of people, so that they're lining up to buy your books. Yes, William, we're going to cover all that. We're going to cover all that. I'm actually going to talk about, William asked, are you going to talk about releasing book 1 and book 2 simultaneously? I'll talk about a strategy that actually I think works really, really well, and, well, you'll get to see, so I don't want to spoil it for you. Okay, so we do not want to be running around all over social media posting buy my book ads, which is one of those 80% effort tasks that only get you 20% results. Your mailing list is that inner circle we talked about, people who have already shown an interest in your books. Make them feel special then, okay? They joined your list for a reason. Get them excited with sneak peeks and new freebies. So your drip campaign so far has had all kinds of freebies. Now you're going to have new ones. Ask them to help you spread the word and make it easy for them to do this. And I'll show you some tips on how to do that. Your list is that 20% effort that you'll be putting out there and getting an 80% return. Now this is where your review team comes in too, and how they are gold. Oh, now wait a minute. Building hype with your subscribers. Use your list to help spread the news. Sorry, I didn't keep advancing. Reviewers can help post reviews that first week, okay? You want your review team posting their reviews that very first week when you have a new release out. That will help your Amazon algorithms and increase your exposure to the book and thereby your rankings. Now, iTunes and Amazon, and I don't know about the other ones, but I have heard that these two tend to give a lot of love to new releases in those first 30 days of publication. So you want to take advantage of that every way you can, and using your reviewers is one way of doing it. But not only can your reviewers help your initial ranking and exposure, they can help you build a lot of pre-release hype by posting their reviews on their blogs, on Goodreads, Library Thing, and any other website that will allow reviews to be posted during pre-order time. And you can encourage them to post links to their reviews on social media. So this is just like those pre-release movie previews where critics are saying so-and-so said blah, blah, blah about a movie before it's even out. You're like, hey, wait a minute, who said, how did they get to see it? Well, those were the pre-screenings. This is like a pre-screening. Now, I believe you can use quotes from those reviews in the editorial review sections of your book description on Amazon, which you edit through Author Central. Okay, if you don't know any, show of hands, does anyone not know what Author Central is? Looks like everybody knows what that is. Okay, so not only is that where you, let me see, can I give out random gifts to my review team as long as I don't ask them to, Kelly, I'd stay away from giving gifts to your reviewers. If you do, you got to make it, I don't know, if you do, you kind of make it private. I mean, sometimes one of the things that I used to do was I would have a giveaway, and I would say, all of you guys are already entered in my giveaway. You don't need to post a review. You're on my faithful review list. But if you want extra entries and extra chances, then make sure you send your link in. So they're already in it, but if they want extra entries, then they just send you the link. That can be a great area too. And I would advise trying to keep your prizes to either gifted books. Stay away from gift cards, because when you have somebody who posts a review and then you give them a gift card shortly afterwards, Amazon goes, whoa, what's going on here? You just paid for a review. Okay, so that's kind of, it's really a gray area. I would actually, a lot of your reviewers, the only thing that we usually try to do with the reviewers is try to get them to post it that first week. And that's what my motivation was. But once you start building your your review team, you build a relationship with them, and they start coming through for you. You know who will post and who won't. So you won't need to motivate them. You know the ones that are already devoted to you. Does it work to have gift cards sent to an author sends out the cards? You know what? I think you're now, that reviewer may be a reviewer also for that other author. So again, that's gaming the system. You know, I honestly just wouldn't go there. Try not to give gift cards to your reviewers, and especially around a giveaway. I mean a new release. I know it sucks. You know, Amazon has really done this. Let us all pray that there will be a new vendor out there who will give us everything we need and not worry about crap like this. You know, that's what we hope for, right? In a perfect world. Okay, so so anyway, do your editorial reviews there, and that'll help build some of the hype on the page of the book during the pre-order time. Now I'm going to make a statement that I know some of you are going to groan about, but I will pre-qualify my statement. If you do not have a lot of reviews, and if you are not making a lot of sales on your books already, and if you do not have a healthy amount of reviewers who have been through the previous books in your series connected to your new release, and this is where you're going to start groaning, I'm going to urge you to wait to release your next book until you, I can feel the tension now, until you've had the chance to build up your review team and stock up a decent amount of reviewers on the previous books you have out. And the reason I say this is that if you publish a new book, but all of your reviewers haven't even read the previous books, you won't get many volunteers for reviews for the new book. Now, you could write a synopsis, I'm feeling the tension on that too, of the other books and give that to the reviewers to get them caught up. But I know many of you would rather burn your eyes out with a hot poker than create a synopsis, let alone one for each of the previous books in your series, okay? Authors hate writing, you know, synopses, so I get it. Building up the reviews on your previous books will do a lot more help to your new release than you realize. What it does is it says a lot about how people are already enjoying the previous books in your series, and it makes readers that much more motivated to buy your new release. And not just that, they'll go, whoa, I want this new release and the whole series because, oh my God, look at all these reviews. They're like raving about it. Okay, so the more reviews you have, the better it makes all of your books look, including especially your new release. Because if you've got a new release and all of your other books in your series, let's say you got 6 books in your series and you're releasing book 7, and you have like 20 reviews on book 1 and 10 reviews on book 2. People are going to go, nobody is reading this series. This author keeps putting these books out and nobody cares. So they're not even going to look at it. So trust me when I say, do this. Build up your review team first before you start doing any more releases, okay? Now, what I'm about to share with you are recommendations. You do not have to do all of these, but they will certainly make your book launch more successful, and they will help you, they might help you determine if you're really ready for a new release. Now, one thing I want you all to remember is something I mentioned earlier in the series. It's never too late to promote a book. Kelly wants to know how many reviews do we recommend as a minimum. I'd say 50. And honestly, if you guys are building the review team like I'm recommending, that's not going to be hard to do. It's going to, book 1 when or book 2 when I started out doing my review team the way I recommended to you guys, it's just now pushed to 100 reviews. And it started out as 47 back in March. Okay, so it's not going to be that hard to get your team moving through it. It may take some time, and that's the part that authors don't like. No, 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 I want to release my book. No. I would say go with the minimum that a lot of other ad websites say you have to have a minimum of X reviews in order to be considered for us to feature your ad. Okay, so just go for that as your goal, okay, as a minimum. All right. It's never too late to promote a book. Now, granted, you'll get some extra loving on that first 30 days of publication, but if you really want to make those 30 days work for you, then hold off on publishing your next release until you have done the following. I have recommended Tim Grohl's book in the past individually, and I think I've mentioned it in this series. And a lot of strategies that I have mentioned or that I have developed in what I am now sharing with you today came from Tim's book. I cannot recommend this book enough. However, there's only so much that I can share in this 1-hour presentation. So do yourself a favor and get that book for a ton of other ideas, okay? It's called Book Launch Blueprint, and it's a fabulous book. It's really, really good. Please do not rush the process, okay? Whoops. Did it go? Take your time and don't rush it. Okay. Please do not rush this process. Now, I'm going to spend just a little bit of time on this because it's really important. Before I do anything related to promoting my book, putting it on pre-order, setting up my drip campaign, focusing on any of that stuff, okay? I make sure that I finish my novel first, written it all the way to the end, and at a bare minimum, I have it in my editor's hand. Now, I'm very strict with myself here because I'm very tempted to want to tell the whole world about my book and give a date to those readers who keep asking, when's the next book coming out? When's the next book coming out? And I know many of you are too, okay? I do not set a release date, and I do not put it up for pre-order until the book is done, or at least in my editor's hand, okay? I do not set a date for anything. And if you've released a few books in the past, you might relate to some of these statements. And I'd like to see a show of hands when you hear a statement that you've said yourself or you've heard a fellow author say. Book release time at my house is crazy. It's cray-cray. I don't see my family for weeks and they all hate me because they're eating fast food and they have to put up with my husband's cooking. Anybody ever heard something similar to that? Life is crazy because they're in the middle of release schedule. I'm seeing several hands. Okay. Okay. I can't do anything right now. I'm in the middle of a book release. Okay. Hands, hands, hands. Okay. Wow. I just came out of book release hell and I need a vacation. How many have, yep. Okay. You have all heard this. Okay. Oh my God, I put my book up for pre-order and my life got so crazy and I'm all stressed out because I haven't finished writing the manuscript. How many have heard that one? Lots of hands are going up on that one. Okay, I hear it all the time and I go, oh my God, I've got this deadline. Okay, now, let me see. I'm not going to tell you, Joe, who it was, who does that. But many people, believe it or not, many people do that because they're so anxious, and maybe it's just in the romance community. They're so anxious to put their book out there. Okay, now I want you to think about this carefully, and I'm going to take. I'm talking mostly to the self-published authors here, and let me preface this by saying that it's not my job to be your friend. It's my job to be your teacher and your colleague, so you can hate me all you want, okay? I don't care. I'm getting in your face for your own good, okay? Now, who set the release date before the book was written? If you related to those things because it's something you've done yourself, the answer to that question is you did. You set the release date. Who put the book up for pre-order before it was written? You did. So who is the cause of all your stress and your crazy lifestyle? You are, okay? I totally relate to this because that's exactly what I did, okay? I get it, you know, I wanted to do it too. Self-published authors cannot blame anyone but themselves for these pressures. One of the luxuries of being a self-published author is you do not have to submit to unreasonable deadlines unless you set them yourself, okay? So we think we can finish a book during a certain time frame, but notoriously life gets in the way and you just fall behind schedule. And I don't want to hear anyone say that they work best under pressure. and they always do their best work when they're under pressure. Only procrastinators use that excuse. It takes one to know one, okay? So that's the mantra that I used to use all the time, so I know what I'm talking about. Discipline is your best friend, so learn to use it on yourself. Okay, so all this time I thought there has to be a better way, and there is, and I discovered that step one of this is finishing the book, and especially do not put it up for pre-order until you know that at least the first draft is done. So what I've done then in the handout, because we didn't have the time to go into it here, is I've included my own personal publishing schedule. What I do when, after the book is written, while it's in my editor's hands, how I do everything I'm going to be sharing with you guys today. I put that on a timeline, and I'll even put sample dates of what a release will look like. Okay, so that's going to be in the handout. All right, now I do not recommend doing a book launch campaign, wait a minute. Okay, I do not recommend doing a book launch campaign like we're going to be covering today unless you've had at least 2 other books published or written, and they're getting ready to be published, okay? I know we're not going to like that, but my experience in the industry over the last decade has proven that readers don't get really excited about an author whose new release is their only release, unless you have a ton of money to pour into advertising, and most of us don't, okay? Girl on a Train is a perfect example. It's only been out, it got out earlier this year, it's already got 51,000 reviews. Why? Because the publisher put a shit ton of money behind her. Okay, so that's the reason why her one book is successful. Okay, most of us do not have that kind of a budget. So we have to be able to use our other books to help us. In fact, readers don't usually get invested in a new author until they have at least 3 books in their catalog, or there's a ton of hype about it. There seems to, 3 seems to be this magic number. So don't stop writing to promote book 1. Immediately get into writing book 2. And in fact, don't stop writing book 2 or book 3 to promote book 2. Keep on writing book 3 until you've written it. And I'm going to discuss some pricing models and strategies a little later, but for now, focus on getting as many books under your belt as possible before you spend a lot of time and energy in promoting your books. A minimum, have 2 and getting ready to release book 3. Your mailing list should have at least 5,000 people on it, and I recommend more than that if you can swing it. Make sure you're pretty active with your mailing list, just as we've suggested throughout this webinar series. If you're only sending emails once a month or once a quarter, a sudden rush of all these emails will cause a mass exodus, and you certainly don't want that. I've heard a lot of authors complain that they go ahead and, yeah, every time I got a new release, I get all these mass people on subscribing. I say, well, how often do you send your newsletter out? And they go, well, I don't know, once a month. Maybe once a quarter, or never. Okay, well, yeah, that's why, because they've forgotten about you. They don't have a relationship with you. You haven't done anything to build that fan base. They're basically just on this list and they go, who the hell is this? Oh my God, I'm being bombarded. Oh, get out of here. And then they take off, okay? So, I'll give you a hint, that with them, that's a big thing, okay? Having a faithful review team is going to come in handy for the book launch. So you have a slew of reviews posted that first week, which, like I said, helps with your Amazon algorithms. And then, of course, you should know how to set up a drip campaign, which you've already learned during this webinar series, okay? Any questions about my recommendations on what you should have in place before you do a big launch like this? No? Okay, good. All right. Okay, so these are recommended tools and tasks. You all know me. I love to share a good thing. Okay, so here are some tools that I think will help make your book launch campaign much easier. And as most of you already know, I'm all about automating as many tasks as I possibly can manage. If there's an automated way to do it, damn it, I'm going to use it. Okay. Timeanddate.com is a great website that we all use here at APR to set the time for our giveaways, okay? And it'll help you project your own deadlines. We don't have to sit there and count the days or the weeks on the calendar. You just plug in a date and tell the tool to count out the days for 90 days or 5 weeks or whatever it is. It's fabulous, okay? They have a ton of calculators and tools, so I'll be sure that in the handout, I'm going to give you the steps on what you can do, which one of those calculators is the one that you use to project out release dates and due dates for your review team and all that kind of stuff, okay? All right, Hootsuite. This tool is particularly useful for for pre-scheduling Facebook posts to your own timeline. Facebook will only let you pre-schedule posts to your Facebook page. They used to do it to your timeline, but they took that feature off because they wanted you to be able to use that feature only on your page. Why? Because they want you to be able to pay money to be noticed. William, you're asking 5K on the mailing list? You want to know why 5K, or do you want to say, it seems like it could be a year or more to get 5,000 people on my mailing list. Should I wait to get 5,000 people before I release my books? I'm saying you don't have to do that, but it's recommended if you want to get great results. Because if you have 600 people on your mailing list, you're not going to get really great results, okay? If you have 5,000 or more people on the mailing list, you'll get better results, okay? One of the things that I also recommend that you could do to build a mailing list very quickly is use InstaFreebie. And I think I posted that in one of the handouts, so look at that, okay? That's a great way to not only filter your list, but be able to get more people on your list too, okay? Since you're going to post it, you might as well use it, right? What do you do to keep people engaged until the launch timeline is, if the launch timeline is extended? Liz, let me ask you this question. Why would you extend your timeline for your launch? Because you're not done writing the book yet? Yes. Okay, your first book, I wouldn't even bother doing a big book launch if you're writing your first book. Write your first book. If you want, go ahead and publish it. You've already told people you're going to publish it. Go ahead and publish it. Okay, you can do this drip campaign if you want to, but honestly, do not expect great results. Not saying you can't do this, okay? I'm just saying if you want to get great results, do these things that I'm telling you today, okay? But my experience showed me, I spent, 2 years promoting my first book, and it was the only book I had on and I made horrible sales. It was such a waste of time. I wrote my second book, still a waste of time. As soon as my third book came out, bam, that's when all the sales started coming in. That's when it's worth it. It's just the way it works. I don't know why. It's just people want to see that you've got something going on. Okay, so your first book. Let's see, next question. All right, I'm going to go ahead and table these questions to the end because I think I want to make sure I don't run over time. So I'm going to keep that up there, DJ, and then I'll either answer the question as I go along or I'll address it at the end, okay? So thank you in advance for being so patient. Okay, so Hootsuite. You cannot do pre-post to your Facebook timeline. You can only do it to your page, okay? You can use Hootsuite to manage all of your social media accounts in one place, but you have to upgrade to pay $9.99 a month to add more than one social media stream. So if you want to keep it free, you need an option for Twitter, then I recommend TweetDeck.com. Now TweetDeck is also free. Used to be a third-party program until Twitter bought it. You used to be able to use it like Hootsuite and manage multiple social media accounts, but Twitter stopped that. But it is a great way to pre-schedule your tweets with images. This is a free tool. Now, with Hootsuite, you can also pre-post or pre-schedule your Facebook posts on your timeline with, and I think you can also do your page too if you want to do both. Hootsuite will allow you to do that, and you can attach an image to it. By the way, I know I've mentioned it before, but for those of you who may be hearing this for the first time, text messages do not get as much attention as ones with a picture. So remember, way back when I was teaching you about Canva, this is the perfect time to be using those really nifty social media graphics. One of the things that I like to do with a social media graphic is post something that says, keep calm, you know, do the whole keep calm thing, keep calm, you know, midnight deliverer is finally here, or midnight deliverer is almost here, okay? You know, fun images with the quotes and things like that. This is all that helps build hype and people can share things, okay? Click to Tweet is another great free tool that makes tweeting on your behalf easier for your readers. Basically what you do is you pre-draft a tweet, write it as if you were the reader, and then Click to Tweet will generate a link for you. You then use that link in your newsletters or on your website and say something like, please click to tweet, give them that link, and help share my new release with your followers. All they need to do is click that link. That will automatically generate that tweet, and all they have to do is hit the tweet button. If they're not logged into Twitter, you know, it'll ask them to log in first. Okay, so it's great. The easier you can make it for people to share things or tweet things for you, then the more likely they're able to do it. Go ahead and set up a few posts on Facebook. I think I've already showed you guys this in regards to when you have a short story or a writing prompt that you feature on your website. I put it on my website, then I go over to Facebook, and then I do a post, and then I take the permalink to that post and create a pretty link, and then I go ahead and put it up in the newsletter and say, hey, if you'd like to, please click here to share on Facebook or click to tweet to let everybody know. And then they do it. They share it. It gets out there. It's been shared on Facebook. It's a great way to get some traction. Okay. Let me see. Pre-post on Facebook. We did that. Pre-post or schedule on your blog or your website. Just like you do with your regular drip campaign, you're going to be pre-posting your interviews, your sneak peeks, your chapter previews. You might want to go ahead and do like PDFs that you can put on your website without making them public, so to speak. They're kind of just in your media, and then you can go ahead, or you can use Dropbox if you want to do for, personally, if you got a, what do you call it, a WordPress website, just put it in your media library and then link to the PDF for your media library. It's a great way to share chapters with your group. Okay, let me see. I'll make sure I got all my notes here. Okay, are you interested in making some blog appearances during your new release? Then I also highly recommend that you create a guest blog post. You can even do a few of them. If you don't know how to do this, I'm going to try to see if I can provide something in the handout that'll give you a little bit of instructions, but basically you pre-draft the blog post with the pictures and you attach the pictures. You can put it in a Word document. They can copy and paste from Word, or if you want to have a little more control over what it looks like on their blog, then I have a Blogger blog and I have a WordPress website. And what I'll do is I'll compose the post as I like to see it in both of those environments. I won't publish it, but I'll go to the HTML part, copy the HTML, and then paste it, and then I make sure I attach all of the images if they, you know, just in case they need them. And that's a package that I have, a media package that I create. So when a blogger says, ooh, can I finish, you know, can I feature your cover reveal? I'll go, sure, and there's the post for the cover reveal. If they say, oh, can I feature your character interview? I go, sure, and there's the post for the character interview. I don't have to sit there and go, oh shit, I got to scramble and get this all together. Okay, so the more prepared you are, the better, you know, the easier your launch is going to be. All right, any questions about any of these tools? Everything that's on this page is free unless you want to buy all their extra features. Okay, any questions on this? Let me see. When you get a chance, can you go on purchasing the mail? I don't know if I'll be able to do that, Gabe, during this session. We'll have to see how much time is left at the end, and if we do have time, I will definitely talk with you about that. Okay. How do you keep people in days once you run out of drip material? You have to push a release off because you don't have big enough release to do this. Yeah, DJ, let's talk about it at the end. Okay. Let me see. All right. So here are some ideas. And depending upon how many fans you have when you do your next release, and by fans I mean people who know you and are pretty active and devoted to your books, you may or may not want to lower the price of your novel during the pre-order period. Some of the authors I know who are bringing in over $10,000 a month keep their new releases at full price and have no lack of sales as a result. However, if you're still a new author with a low or inactive fan base, you might want to consider dropping the price as an incentive to sell more copies. Now, another strategy to build urgency is to include step-up pricing. Now, I have not done it myself, but a few of the authors that I network with have reported back and confirmed that if you set your book at a lower price on Amazon at the beginning of your price listing, then those who purchase at the lower price will only be charged the lower price when the book goes live, regardless of how many times you've raised the price. So in this example here that I'm showing you on this slide, okay, what is it? Let's see. In week 1, you can put it at 99 cents, and this is for like a $4.99 book. In week 2, it goes up $1, you know, and you just keep on going until they get the release price of the $4.99, okay? Now, just so you know, let me see. Week 3, okay. This was taken directly from the Amazon website, okay? Setting list pricing for pre-order books. You can set the price for your pre-order book based on the list price requirements. You can change your list pricing during the pre-order period, but if you lower it, we will retroactively charge that lower price to the customers who have already pre-ordered your book. If you raise the price during the pre-order, all prior customers will still pay the lower price. Your royalty will be based on the actual price we charge the customers. So Amazon already has something built in that will allow you to charge this step pricing that I show you here without worrying about whether or not people are going to wind up, everybody's going to be charged the $3.90, you know, the 99 cents. Now, if you start at $4.99 and some people buy it at the $4.99 price and then you drop it to 99 cents, everybody who pre-ordered at $4.99 will now get the 99-cent price. So when you drop it down, it goes across the board. If you start low and go up, that'll work in your favor. Okay, so that's a tool that you can use. That's a free tool. Okay, all right. Let me see. What are we doing? Okay. If you're not going exclusive with Amazon, then you might want to consider using Smashwords to create coupons. I know most authors enjoy using Draft to Digital, but D2D does not have coupon options. Now, what I've done is I've used both platforms, and on Smashwords, I publish to all the other distribution channels that Draft to Digital doesn't cover, which expands my distribution even more by probably about 3 or 4 different channels. But now it allows me to create coupons for my reader club. So you can sell your book at full price everywhere during pre-order, but only give a coupon code to those people on your mailing list. People who are faithful enough to you to be on your reader club should get rewards, and this is a perfect way of doing it. Now, if they're Kindle buyers, you can just include some instructions with your coupon code on how they can email the Mobi file to themselves, which is what they're going to be getting from Smashwords. And basically, the directions are it'll go directly to their Kindle. And now the process of them getting their discounted book to their devices is a lot easier than trying to have to manually load it on from the computer to the device. Okay, obviously their Kindle app will most likely get it. Their Kindle device has to at least have Wi-Fi, so it'll do this. Okay. Another incentive for pre-order purchases is offering exclusive content only to those who purchase during the pre-order period. I've listed a couple of ideas here. Okay. But, and we'll kind of go over this, we'll talk about it. You could provide the extra content in the final file you upload to your retailers. And then say a week or 2 later, you can upload a new file with the extra content no longer available. Now, I tried to get this hashed out before this presentation started. And as far as I understand it, Amazon will not update everybody's previous versions unless it's a significant change, okay? So that's why there's a warning on this one. If you include sneak peeks, or not sneak peeks, but deleted chapters, historical research that you might have done in your book if you have some history, or you know, whatever it is that's extra material for those who are pre-order, if you include that in the book when they pre-order it and when it goes live, say a week later you decide to take that down, that much information being taken out of the file will most likely garner an update. Now, as I understand it, that update will only affect everybody who buys the book afterwards. If you want the update to be reflected for everybody who bought it prior, you have to contact Amazon and say, hey, I want this file pushed out to all the people who bought it earlier. Now, if you don't say anything, then only those who buy the book from here on out will not get the material, and the people who had it pre-ordered should not have it taken away, okay? It's still up in the air about whether or not that really works, okay? So I don't know. I haven't tried it myself, so I can't really tell you that, okay? However, you could put the extra content on a PDF and load it onto your website and then use a pretty link or TinyCC. By the way, I found out last week that TinyCC is an alternative for those authors who do not have a WordPress website and they cannot install the Pretty Links link. Now, TinyCC does cost $10 a month, but it's really worth it, okay? If you do not have the wherewithal or the ability to maintain a WordPress website on your own with your own server and you have a clue how to do that, TinyCC for $10 a month is a great alternative. However, if you do know how to do that and you're very, very tech savvy, I would recommend go ahead and work on trying to get a WordPress website, because you'll spend $10 or less on server fees. And then you have Pretty Links for free and all these other bells and whistles that your website can do with plugins from WordPress. So FYI, TinyCC, it does the same thing that Pretty Links does, okay? The only difference between Pretty Links and TinyCC is that my Pretty Links says arielburns.com/BBB01, which is Bonded by Blood, book 1 in my series. If I go to TinyCC, I think it's going to say something like tinycc.com/BBB01. Okay, so it's still kind of, you know, it's short, it's still customized, but it's got their branding on it instead of your branding. Okay, so that's why I'm always a Pretty Link advocate here. Okay, so what you do then is you have a statement in your book that might say something like, those who have pre-ordered your book title are entitled to exclusive extra content. Click here to claim yours now. And then this creates a little bit of urgency for people who download the free content. And after the book is released, then you can upload the new copy without that link. Anyone who purchased the book after you've uploaded the new file will not get that link, and those who still might have that link, provided that they don't have updates, you know, that the thing doesn't get updated, they'll still be able to access it and get that exclusive content. You could, if you want to turn that link, keep the link in there and not update the file, but you can go ahead and do something like I did for my Oops, You Came Too Soon page. If someone goes to that, you can redirect your Pretty Link or your TinyCC link to go away from the exclusive content and go to the new page. And then you can say something like, if you're here looking for exclusive content, please email your pre-order receipt to your email address, and your free content will be emailed to you. So you can get those stragglers who, if you decide to turn that off, you can get those stragglers to start, coming in. I would wait at least a month or two before you turn that off. If they get it, who cares? But it's an extra incentive. People who buy the book later will go, woohoo, I can still get the content. Okay. And you're getting full price. You're getting full price for your book now. Personally, I think the best option would be to publish the free content to Smashwords and put a price on it, and then provide a coupon code in the back of the book with your TinyCC or your Pretty Link, so it'll pass the scrutiny of the retailers. iTunes usually is the one who doesn't like external links of any kind, by the way, so just make sure you have the link, and then you can actually put like arielburns.com/BBB01. You can have that without the hyperlink. Don't make it clicky. Okay, right click and do remove hyperlink, and you just have the text. At least they'll know how to get to it, and it's a nice short link. Okay, if they go to that link and then they get to Smashwords after your coupon has expired, then it'll just say, oh, sorry, that coupon has expired. Okay, but I don't know. Either way, you can either put it on your website and do the redirect, or you can go ahead and do the redirect after a certain period of time. Does that make sense? I don't know if any of that made sense. I kind of put this slide together really, really fast, so I apologize. Any questions about that? Does that make sense? Okay. It seems like it makes sense. I don't see any questions. Okay, so using the same concept that we did for your regular ongoing drip campaign, you're going to create a short drip campaign with freebies and teasers and character interviews and such, okay? But you'll also be adding some social media engagement for people to share your new release to the world for you. This is where social media works in your favor. Social media is a place to share and share good things. If you're going around going, buy my book, people go, be quiet. If someone else says, oh my God, you got to buy this book, then they'll go, whoa, wait a second. They're recommending it, not the author. Okay, so you can create a separate drip campaign for your reviewers if you want to, but I think it would be easier if you just included their notes and reminders in the same messages. And in the handout, I'm going to show you when you need to remind your review team, hey, by the way, the book's coming up. Hey, don't forget to post. Hey, you know, here you go. Here are the links. This might make a few more people jealous if they want to join your review team by seeing those going, wait a minute, I'm not on the review team. I didn't know you could be on the review team. And then you might get more people joining for that. They should not get an ARC, though, if they just join. Only the people, my recommendation, only the people who are faithful reviewers should get ARCs, especially if you have a pre-order. The last thing you want to do is send your file out there to people you don't know, you don't trust, you don't have a relationship with, and now all of a sudden your book is out there free before you even got to make any money off of it, okay? All right. Let me see. Every time you release a new book, you have the opportunity to tack on 4 extra emails to the end of your ongoing drip campaign. What you create for your new release can easily be reappropriated for this purpose. Now, I know it sounds like I'm creating a lot of work for you again, but I'm one of those people who reuses material as much as possible, so what you're doing here is not going to be wasted. Okay, there are multiple uses for all this stuff, and it really will save you work in the long run. So this is where the benefit of being a subscriber pays off. At least that's the way I set the stage. Everyone on my list gets the first look at everything. Cover reveals, sneak peeks, teaser scenes, sample chapters, all that stuff. So if you're going to do a cover reveal for that first message, wait a few days before you launch it to the public. You could even tease people to say, hey, I just sent that cover reveal to my list. Oh, didn't see it? Well, I guess you got to join my list. Get exclusive content now while my book is up for pre-order. You know, and you could say something like, don't want to wait until tomorrow? Join my list today, and you'll get all this stuff as it happens. Let your subscribers know that they're first, and you can ask them not to share it yet. And then once you share it to the public, you can include that share link in the next message. This is why you do pre-posting, okay? Share the next message that you send, or you might want to be a little on top of it, but only do a couple of those things, okay? Like the cover reveal, and then maybe like chapter 1, you know, or a sneak peek or something. You don't want to create too much work for yourself. Remember, we want to pre-post as much as possible. Now, I tend to stagger the messages if I can help it, and I wish I could show you an example here, but you'll see it in the publishing thing in the handout, okay, and the publishing schedule in the handout. So here are examples. Cover reveals, character interviews, sneak peeks and teaser scenes. All of these should look familiar to you. You've done these already. You're implementing them now inside of a month with all this kind of stuff, extra material that you may or may not include in your drip campaign, your ongoing one. Be sure you're posting all of these things on your website so you have something to share, but you can also keep your messages short and use, and the reason you pre-post, as we've discussed before, allows you to keep your messages short and use cliffhangers to go, whoa, you want to read the rest of this interview? Click here to read more, okay? Use those click-to-tweet links, okay? Share your post on Facebook, and you might want to do some retweets. So if you do some pre-posts for your pre-order, like once you get a link, then go ahead and do a pre-order. You can actually tweet once, twice, you know, a couple of times before you start doing your drip campaign, because you might have your pre-order up a week before you launch your drip campaign. Those tweets then, you can then link in your drip campaign and ask people to, will you please retweet this? Retweets also get you more notice on Twitter, okay? So you might want to create a few of those. Let me see. There you go. Okay, your calendar is your friend. Use a calendar. okay, to help plan out when you're going to do what and set reminders for yourself. Google Calendar is a great tool that I should have listed on that list of tools. So use a Google Calendar or whatever calendar you have on your phone, anything that's automatically either going to send you an email or ding on your phone and say, hey, don't forget to do this. Okay, that's a great way to make sure you stay on top of the things you have to manually do for your drip campaign. But as you see, I'm trying to automate everything as much as possible. Sorry, I forgot to include that last bullet point there. Okay, now what I'm about to show you, I'm just going to throw this out there as an idea. You can take it or leave it. It's something that I've seen work very, very well for other people. But this publishing schedule here takes a lot of discipline and a lot of patience. I know I'm throwing out the gauntlet there, okay? I plan on using this for my next series, and I'll let you know how it works. Okay, so here it goes, all right? Outline your entire series first before you write, before you do anything. Now, I know you pantsters out there are probably laughing or huffing. And for those of you who might not know what a pantster is, it's someone who writes by the seat of their pants as opposed to a plotter. I am a plotter through and through. If you haven't figured that out by now, I don't know what you thought I was. Okay, obviously I plan ahead and I do a lot of this. I do the same thing with my writing. So this is not an issue for me, but I urge you to keep your mind open to this possibility. And you might want to check out Rachel Aaron's book, 2K to 10K, How to Write Faster, Write Better, and Write More of What You Love. She literally teaches you how to go from writing 2,000 words a day to 10,000 words a day. Okay? She has a great way of outlining that gives you a sense of freedom and creativity, and she shows you why plotting actually helps you write faster. She's got a lot of great techniques in there. You also might want to try Libby Hawker's book, Take Off Your Pants. I will list both of these in the handout. And that book is also very helpful and appeals to those pantsters out there who have a very hard time letting go of this freewheeling method of writing that sometimes takes more time than is necessary. Anyway, outline your entire series, and you can do it at a very high level. It doesn't have to be really, really detailed like mine usually are. Okay, write the first 3 books in the series. Now, this might answer some of the questions that have come in here that I've seen about what about other books and whatnot, okay? If you write the first 3 books in the series but not publish them, this gives you a heads up or it gives you an advantage. In fact, in the handout, I'll modify the publishing schedule I have that I recommend for new releases to include the same checklist of procedures that is ideal for this publishing schedule. Okay, this is a plan ahead publishing schedule. Now, you'll do a more modest drip campaign. One of the things that I'm recommending in regards to this campaign that we're talking about here is publishing 6 to 10 messages in a single month. We've gone from doing our regular drip campaign from once a week. Now we're like doubling that, okay? The people who are devoted fans are going to love these things because, again, you're giving away freebies. Every email should have a freebie and something fun, not just buy my book or pre-order my book. Make it fun, okay? And ask them for their help. But you're going to do something a little bit more because you're doing this. When you see the schedule of how these books are released, you're going to want something a little bit more modest, because if you send 10 emails out a month, like as many books as you have in a roll when you do a release, you're going to lose a lot of people because you're going to overwhelm them with too many emails. Okay, I don't care if you got freebies. Eventually they're going to go, wow, this is too much. Okay, so get a more modest drip campaign. You're going to stick with the weekly schedule, but do it on like the same day, like every Monday or every Wednesday or, you know, whatever. Tuesday to Thursday, I hear, is really good. Tuesdays and Thursdays are really, really good. So maximize that. I think 8 in the morning to 11 in the morning is a good time on Tuesdays, and I think Tuesday is better than Thursday. You'll have less material to create per book, but you'll be doing it for 3 books or more if you really want to be proactive and start planning for the other books in your series. That's if you're plotting out more than 3. Okay, now, put book 1 up for pre-order. After you're done writing your books, at least the first 3 books, you're going to draft your drip campaign, And then once you're done and ready for that, okay, you might also incorporate, and again, the publishing schedule that I have in the handout will show you all these in detail. It'll make a little bit more sense, but the video here, I'm just going to go over it. Book one up for pre-order, full price. Let me see. And you're going to launch your drip campaign for that first month while it's on pre-order. Start writing book 4, because if you set everything up, you should already have your drip campaign crafted. It should now be running, and you should have some spare time, hopefully, to start writing book 4. Now, automatically, book 1 should be live, and then you could go ahead and put book 2 up for pre-order. In fact, you might want to be proactive and get book 2 and 3 prepped in, like, for example, if you want to put them on your bookshelf in Amazon, get ready, do all the things that you need to do to post it, but wait to publish it. Don't actually put it up for pre-order and publish it. Just keep it in draft form. And then that way, once book 1 is live, now all you have to do to put book 2 on pre-order is just hit the publish button. Do this then for all the other ones. You can put them all on your shelves and then have them ready to go as you go along. Continue writing book 4 in between all of these tasks, and finish this for the next books in the finish this for the next book in the series. Okay, so basically what it is, book 1 goes live, book 2 goes up for pre-order. Both of them are at full price. Book 2 goes live, book 3 goes up for pre-order at full price. 1 month later, book 3 goes live. It's at full price. Book 1 is either dropped to 99 cents or perma-free. Okay, it's like an incentive to keep going. Okay, hopefully by the time book 3 goes live, or by book 3 goes live, book 4 will be ready, and you can pre-order, set it up for pre-order, and then you continue that with the other books. Okay, now, only you know how long it takes you to write a book and what your schedule is like. Okay, once I get a book outlined, and I get pretty damn detailed with my outlines, I can literally write a manuscript in a month or a month and a half. Depends on how big the book is. I've done up to 20,000 words in a day because I already know what I'm going to write, and that's what Rachel and Libby talk about. That's why I've been able to write a book in a month and a half, provided I've got my outline. However, if you know you cannot write a book in 3 months, then write the first 4 books before you start publishing. Or write the first 5 books before you start publishing. This is why I say it's best to outline. You could, if you wanted to, do a 5-book series, write all 5 books, and then launch them 1 book after another. 1 month of pre-order, a little bit of promo, next book comes up. All right. The point of this schedule is the momentum builds from book 1 to 2 to 3 and so forth. The readers are getting all the novels in a series only 1 month apart. They go rabid for this stuff, and it really acts like a snowball going downhill. I cannot wait to try this. I have seen so many of my other author friends in this kick-ass group that I belong to, when they do these serial series, and they launch them 2 weeks apart, but some of them write the whole series before they do the publishing, so it's a lot easier on them. Some of them have launched these books every week or every 2 weeks, even though they're smaller books. The momentum that builds has been insane, okay? And these are the girls that are writing, making $10,000 or more a month. Okay, so think about that. If you have other books on your backlist, these are all the reading materials while you're planning and writing your next series, okay? If you want to try this with a series of novellas like I plan on doing, then it might be a little bit more doable. So they're shorter books. If you have books, if you have your books on Kindle Unlimited, then you can publish the box set a few months later after the whole series is done and reap the rewards of the page reads on that too. Okay, which is what I'm going to be talking about in the next slide. So let me see. We had some questions come in. Do you recommend putting your automation so they deliver on a Tuesday or a Thursday after the first delivery instead of organically as they happen because of the sign up? Kelly, I actually experimented with that on my regular list, and I saw spikes in sales and stuff, an activity every Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I kind of liked having it spread out over the week. You could see the traffic on my website always spiked on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I kind of like the steady traffic, and as far as SEO is concerned, it does a little better as well, search engine optimization. So I hope that if you're going to do your new release, though, I think you might get more traction if you do it on Tuesdays and Thursdays because you have better open rates, I think. So at least that's what I hear. I didn't see any really major difference except spikes and stuff. What if your third book is not in the same series as your others? Yeah, Christine, you could do it, sure, but you have nothing to refer back to in regards to other stuff. You can. It's not to say they won't, but standalones don't do very well. And just because it's a standalone, it's not related to your other series. So if your third book that you're releasing is the first book in a new series, then I would recommend doing a minor campaign, just kind of get it out there. Unless you have a huge list and a bunch of great fans that are like, oh my God, I'm going to eat up everything you have, then it doesn't matter. Go ahead and do it. But if you're starting out fresh and you don't have a really strong list, I personally would recommend go ahead, put it out there, release it. You know, you can spend a little bit of time on it. You can even do a full-fledged campaign like this, but you just don't expect really, really great results, okay, if you don't have a huge fan base, okay? When you get in, go over the process of purging your mailing list of non-responsive. Okay, Gabe, we're going to do that. How do you keep people engaged once you run out of drip material if you have to push off a release because you don't have a big DJ, we're going to, I keep telling you, we're going to do this at the end. We're almost at the end. So I'll ask you to clarify a little bit more on what that means before we go into it. Okay. Now, before we get into some, we're going to talk about pricing. And before we get into some of these strategies, I want to share a little bit about ebook pricing because a lot of authors, and I know we're at the, it's 10 after 7 right now. At least my time, we're 10 minutes over, but we're almost done. I think we have like 2 slides or 3 slides left. Okay. I'll share a little bit about ebook pricing because a lot of authors are in that quandary about how much to charge for their books. Do we all deserve $6.99 or more per book? Without a doubt. Writing is hard work, and especially publishing and marketing your book. So damn Skippy, we do deserve it. Okay. As Hemingway says, there is nothing to writing. All you do is sit down to a typewriter and bleed. Okay. It's tough. You know, it's not a lot of people think, oh, I'll just publish a book and I'll be a millionaire. Yeah, a lot of those people learned that was a joke too. Okay, so but we all know that we can't exactly demand that kind of money until we establish ourselves as writers, okay? So it doesn't mean you're not worth it. It just means that you have to be more well-known. And in order to get established, sometimes you got to do that loss leader kind of thing and drop your price a little bit. Now, if you want to know what your price point is for your books, because it's different for everybody, or it's different for people who are more popular versus less popular, there are 2 factors that you need to consider. The size of your books. Whoops, I'm sorry. Oh, actually, I did go too far. Okay. Oh no. There we go. Okay. The size of your books, meaning your word count, and your fan base. Okay. And as it says here, the sweet spot right now is $3.99, leaning towards $4.99. Okay. The more devoted fans you have, the more you can charge for your books. This is why a lot of the unknown authors do not sell well with the big 5 publishers, because big 5 likes to charge a lot for their books. They got a lot of overhead, so they got to charge the bigger prices, outside of the fact that they don't know how to market their books. Okay, but the big authors with the huge fan base can demand $6.99 or more. Heck, some of them demand $14 for an ebook. Okay, I have heard my own fans say, I don't care what you charge for your books, I will buy them. So I know personally, when you have a devoted fan, they don't care what you charge. However, as much as I love to hear that of my own fans, I do not have enough of those people to pay my bills yet, okay? So I can't yet charge the higher price. So my books are now at the $3.99 price point, okay? So let's talk about price point. According to Smashwords, okay, Actually, I think that I still jumped the gun there on doing that bullet point. According to Smashword sales reports of the last several years, the $2.99 price point was the sweet spot for purchasing trends, and consumers' spending was leaning toward the $3.99. That was like the second best price point, and 99 cents, well, $1.99 was dropped like a stone in regards to a price point that people were buying. Even though the price was lower, more people were buying books at $2.99 than they were at $1.99. Okay, and then 99 cents and of course free was a lot higher than the $1.99. Okay, so now the recent report showed that it is the $3.99 and the new sweet spot, and now spending is leaning more toward the $4.99 price point. So the good news is for undiscovered authors, readers are starting to swing back towards paying more for their ebooks. So there is hope. Okay. Yeah, Joe. Hell yeah, we do. We do deserve more. Do we have the website address for the past 5 videos? Yes, Christine, we've mailed that out a few times. I'll email it to you again, hon. The power of perceived value. That's right, Joe. That's exactly what it is. You're welcome, Christine. And here's a funny thing too. There was a book I almost bought today, and I actually didn't buy it because I went, whoa, that's the wrong book. $17 for a Kindle. But the value of the information that I thought I was going to be getting in that book, it was going to say how to leverage that first 90 days or that first 30 days on Amazon, right? And oh my God, it had 600 reviews. It had 4.8 star rating overall for those 600 reviews. I thought, oh, this book, whoa, yeah, $17. Boy, it might make me a lot more money if I learn how to leverage those first 30 days. Then when I went to go click on it, I went, whoa, wait a second. This is one of those first 90 days at your new job in the corporate America. I was like, whoa, wrong book. Okay. And I didn't buy it. But I almost bought a book for $17, even though, just because of all those things I mentioned. Lots of reviews, high ratings on the reviews, $17 price point, perception of value, right? Also, the more you charge for something, the more valuable something seems, which is more of what Joe was talking about there. Okay, so I am going to share with you 2 pricing strategies that will include books on wide distribution and those on Kindle Unlimited. All right, and Johnny and I have actually experimented with these things and found that either of these were to be really effective. Okay, so full price, charge the full price for your books. All your books should be at full price until you have published the 3rd book. Once book 3 is live, drop book 1 down to either perma-free or 99 cents. This first book in a series is called The Lost Leader. Now, I'm speaking about a series. You can do this if you have 3 standalone books, but I'm going to tell you right now, our experience shows that readers buy in series. Standalones do not sell very well at all. Okay. Once, let me see. Okay, so and basically the lost leader is like the crack dealer. You give them that first trick for free or that first trip for free, and then they're hooked and they have to pay for the rest. Okay, and then you keep the rest of your books in the series at full price. Now you could also do a little step pricing if you want to try that. Now, step pricing is put book 1 for free or 99. Now, this is after all 3 books are out. A minimum of 3 books are out. Book 1 goes down to free or 99 cents. Book 2, you can have it $2.99. And then book 3 and beyond do it $3.99. That's how I've got mine structured. I've got 5 books in my series. I'm about ready to launch book 6. And all of them are priced at $3.99 except for book 2 at $2.99, and book 1 is at 99 cents right now. Okay. Additionally, you can put your entire series in a box set. Let me see. I lost my place. I'm sorry. You can put your entire series in a box set and use some of the funneling in that first 3 books in your series to say something like save 50% or save 60% on the complete series by buying the box set. Okay, that's a great way to get people to go, whoa, okay, I love book 1. I know I'm going to love book 2, or I hope I'm going to love book 2. Then they go ahead and buy the whole series. I know some people buy book 1, they loved it so much, they just went out and bought the whole darn series. Okay, so you'll be saving them money. They'll thank you, and it'll be great. All right, now you don't want to do this past the books in the series where now the price of the books individually that they've already spent are now more than your box set. Okay, so in book 5, you don't want to go, hey, you can get the box set for 50% off. Now you're just rubbing it in. Okay, so do the math and figure out which book will say, last chance to save, buy the box set now to still save money. Okay, incidentally, the way you figure out how to price your box set, take the full price of all of your books, even your loss leader. Like if my book is 99 cents, but because it's over 100,000 words, I value it at $4.99. Okay, and then you add all of those up, and then you decide what kind of a discount you want to give, and Amazon will also help you determine what that is. So for example, let's take all 5 of my books. If you add all of them full price together, it's a total of $19.95. So then I play around. I go, okay, 40% off would be $11.97. Okay, anything priced over $9.99 is going to get me 35% royalty rate, so I don't want that. 40% discount is not enough. So I stop playing around there and just price it at $9.99. Okay, they're getting over, I mean, I could do the math. I think it's like 52% off or something like that. Or it's like 50, yeah, it's like 52% off. So I hope that takes the guesswork out of what you're supposed to be charging for your box set. Okay, box sets are great when they're charged really high, and then you put them on sale every now and then, and people go, woo! Okay, you can drop it to $2.99 and people go, woo! Okay, let people know, hey, by the way, if you haven't got it, $2.99, you're saving even more. Now don't say how much they're saving off the $9.99 price. Tell them how much they're saving off if they were to buy them all individually. And now it's at $2.99. Whoa, it's a 65% saving or whatever it is, okay? Again, that perceived thing. All right, and make sure that when you do the math, like I had $11.97, like if it turned out to be $9.97, I'd still price it at $9.99. You want to make sure that all of your prices end with a 9. Psychology, you get more sales, people are funny. Okay, that's just the way that works. For the Kindle Unlimited books, or books that you've enrolled in Kindle Unlimited program and contracted exclusive with Amazon, you can follow the same pricing model as above, but once the series has been completed, okay, you want to go ahead and drop that first book in the series, take that out of Kindle Unlimited, and put it under wide distribution for either 99 cents or free, okay? Then release the box set, but do only books 2 through however many books you have in your series, all right? Then you want to drive your ads to promote your box set. Now this will actually boost your page reads as well as your sales. Many people who are signed up for BookBub and ILoveVampireNovels.com and Romance Devoured and Rain of Reads are all looking for deals, and some of them are looking for deals on the books that are not on Kindle Unlimited. So if your box set is on Kindle Unlimited, or it's on a countdown deal and you're using your free days to go ahead and promote that box set, you get in one of these newsletters, they're going to go, woohoo, they go over and check it out and they go, whoa, hey, that's on Kindle Unlimited. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and have 5 books for the price of having 1 book on my shelf. Okay, a box set now only takes up 1 space on their shelf, and that really helps drive those page reads up. Okay, I've heard a lot of authors say, no, 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 never put your book in a box set unless you want to boost the sales for blah, blah, blah. Johnny and I have found out the box set is, especially if you have it in Kindle Unlimited, it's a great way to drive sales. I've recommended to you guys Write, Publish, Repeat by 3 or 4 authors together, Johnny B. Truant and Dave, I can't remember the names right now. They put their books in box set, and they do a lot of these strategies that we're talking about, and it really does work. It really, really does, okay? And then, just like I said, if you price it high, then you drive sales to, they're still saving if they get the box set, but then you get the opportunity to drop the book on sale, and again, that increases the exposure of your other books. Now, the difference between doing wide distribution in a box set and then putting it up for a free day or for sales, your books that are already in the other books that you have are like competing with your box set when you do wide distribution like that, okay? The only time a sale on your box set works in your favor is one, to build exposure and get more readers, and two, to go ahead and have readers save money, or you get a boost in your sales. The sales in your other books tend to suffer when you do that. So everybody goes towards the deal of that, which is fine because again you're building exposure. Okay. However, the box set and a Kindle Unlimited set, oh my God, drives sales across the board because it's all in page reads. Not saying your page reads on your box set contribute to the page read that in book one on the box set does not register also page reads on book one in the whatever. They're two totally separate things because they're two totally separate books. But the exposure of that box set tends to trick, don't ask me how, don't ask me why. It tends to increase page reads across the board for all your other books. Okay, but a lot of the page reads come from the box set, so that's a great way of getting income and working the Amazon system there to work in your favor and their favor. Okay. Another weird thing that I've noticed, and I actually thought, well, why would anybody read my book on Kindle Unlimited if I put it up for free? And I use my free days, which you get when you get 5 free days every 90 days when you're on Kindle Unlimited, okay, or KDP Select. I put book one all 5 days, Monday through Friday, on sale for a week. Book one was free for a week. The next week it was book two. The next week it was book three. The next week it was book four. Well, sales went down, okay? However, my page reads went through the roof. I had the best month in income just because I use those 5 free days like that on every single one of my books. Boy, did it really drive my sales up, okay? In regards to what I brought in on page reads. I don't know why it did it, but it did, okay? So those are some good strategies in regards to promoting, okay? Okay. Remember that these strategies that we've been teaching you in the webinar series, this is what will help you keep a steady flow of income. So just keep calm and write on. Stop hinging on your new release. What we're teaching you in this entire series will help you keep a steady income, and you won't be hanging on every release. Relax, keep writing, okay? Finish your book before you set a release date or before you put it on pre-order. And, for some people who are sending messages, it was kind of like, duh, no-brainer. I can't tell you how many authors do that. They get so excited and they do it. Write it first, then go ahead and do all that stuff. Just like you did for your ongoing drip campaign, you want to plan it out, put it on the calendar, and finish creating all the materials before you launch your campaign. So that means if you're done with the book, but you're not done with your drip campaign, don't put it out there yet. Don't set a release date. Wait until you're done with your campaign. Same thing as if you're not done with your book, but you are done with your drip campaign, wait. Make sure your drip campaign and your book are both pretty much done before you set any dates. Now, I made the mistake of turning my campaign on before I finished composing everything, and I just got caught up in a mess of things, and I never finished it, and it was a disaster. It was probably the worst release I ever had. All right, so make sure you plan ahead. Your list comes first. Make sure they feel special by letting them see everything first. This really helps out build that devoted fan base even while you're doing the release, and this can help you drive more people to your mailing list because some people are going to feel a little left out that they got the information secondhand. Oh, and by the way, if your exclusive information leaks out, that's awesome, especially if you told them, don't share this, okay? Because that means people are going, whoa, and they're sharing it, and you go, yay! You got to love those rebels, right? Remember to leverage your review team. They are most likely your biggest fans, and they will do a lot more for you than the rest of your list will. They'll do the sharing. You're going to find those are the people that are doing the sharing, and they're posting reviews for you, and they're publishing it on their blog. And especially if you go, you post it on your blog, I will tweet it everywhere. Look at this. It's got a great review, before it's even out. I've got all these wonderful reviews coming in. Okay? Pre-orders are a great way to do that immediate gratification, and that's the reason why I recommend you put it up at least the month before. Now, you can, though you can do a pre-order anywhere from 90 days out to a year out, depending upon the vendor you're working with. Amazon will only let you do 90 days out. It's okay if you want to do that. And you can actually kind of leak it out there. Hey, by the way, it's up for pre-order now. Isn't this fun? Okay. You won't be able to do your cover reveal because, or I don't know, I don't think Amazon lets you post a book for pre-order without the cover. So if you want to do cover reveals, then I think you're kind of taking the wind out of your sails, okay? So I would recommend that you wait 5 weeks before you go live, because then you'll have that first week where it's up, you got links, you can refer your review team and all this other kind of stuff to stuff. And you can kind of get the word out there. But during that whole month of promotion, people will have an immediate link that they can click on. And then when your new release drip campaign is all done, you can copy some of these messages over and include them at the end of your original drip or your ongoing drip campaign once the release is finished. You'll probably only need to make some minor tweaks to ensure that the content is evergreen, but you can do a lot of the same thing. You've got, you won't necessarily do cover reveal, but you'll have your cover and your blurb. So take out the cover reveal part and just do the blurb part, with the cover. And finally, we covered some pricing strategies that I hope not only price your new release, that help you price your new release, but perhaps it'll help you come up with some new ideas on how to promote and price the books that you already have on your backlist and maybe get better results. You can restructure your pricing and experiment with some things, okay? But at least you've got some practical information about that. Okay, so let me look at questions and see what I have not yet answered here. Let me see. All right, how do you keep people engaged once you run out of a drip material? And if you have to push, let's see, DJ, can you explain a little bit of what you're asking here in regards to pushing off your release? I'll answer the first part of the question. How do you keep people engaged if you run out of material? That's one of the reasons why I try to encourage you to publish your books before you start doing any major promo. So if, let's say, for example, you've already started building your mailing list, you can occasionally reach out to them, hey, what's going on? I think one of the things that you can do to keep engaged with your list and not necessarily do all of your, if you've run out of drip material, do a lot of cross promo. Have friends that are in your same genre say, hey, I'm sending out a newsletter next Friday. Who has their book on permafree, or who is dropping their book to permafree, or who has a book up on sale or permanently on 99 cents. I want to share it. And then that's when you do some cross promo. Now, weekly you send out a message, you kind of become your own little mini book bub for the people on your list, okay? It allows you to give to your audience without always going, buy my book, buy my book, buy my book, and you're still engaging with them. You might want to include some information about your process, what you've got going on right now. While I have this, cross promo thing, while I'm sharing all these free books that my wonderful author pals have going on, I thought I'd give you an update on my work, my current work in progress. And talk about the process. Some readers really, really love that, okay? So if you don't have a book to talk about that's published and you don't have all that, you ran out of stuff, that's a great way to keep them engaged, okay? Let me see what you said. We shouldn't release until we have, no, I want to clarify, I'm not saying don't release until you have a list of 5,000. I'm saying I don't recommend you do. Okay, you can if you want to. Sure, absolutely. Go ahead, do it. You can do all this stuff. What I'm saying is don't expect spectacular results, okay? Because if you have a small list, you're going to have small results, okay? The larger your list, the more you're going to have. My experience and the experience I've seen with so many authors, we're all excited about our books, but when you only have one book up on your catalog, 2 books up on your catalog, reader just kind of go, this is the new author, he's brand new. Yeah, maybe I'll try him out, maybe I won't. You have no reviews. It just takes this very lackluster kind of image, okay? But if you publish 2 books and you work really hard on, well, you're building your mailing list, you're building a relationship with them, you can still have a drip campaign, but do these other things that I'm recommending you engage in. Get that review team going. Get them to make the review. So now when you launch book 3, if you got 50 reviews on book 1 and 25 or 30 book reviews on book 2, then woohoo, you know, you've got a little bit better of an impression to leave. You're like, wow, they only have 2 books out, they've already got 50 reviews, and they're launching book 3. Boy, this looks great. Great reviews across the board. Does that make sense, DJ? Okay. All right, so again, you can do all these things. It's just those are things I recommend you have in place before you go. Let me see. Next question that I did not answer. Oh, goodness. Let's see. When you get a chance, can you go over the process of purging your mailing list of non-responders? Actually, Gabe, I am going to include a procedure in one of the handouts on the past webinars that I've done. I talked about purging your list a little bit when we set up your drip campaign, and I was kind of on the fence about a few things. I've implemented a new process that has a drip campaign that checks in with my readers sometimes, or if basically it says, if you haven't opened up any of the last 5 messages, send them this message. And it basically says, hey, just checking in with you. Did you still want to receive freebies? If you do, click the button below here. And that's all they have to do is click that button, and it'll say, congratulations, you're still on the list. You'll still get freebies. I hope you enjoy them. If they do not click that, or they don't even open the message to click that button, after 2 or 3 weeks, I think, I basically go, thanks very much. I have an autoresponder that says if they don't click that link after 3 weeks after that message was sent, after that message goes out, 3 weeks later, if they did not open it or click that link, then they will get another message that says, oh, so sorry to see you go. I guess you don't want to be on my list anymore. Thanks so much. You know, and I do something like I showed this girl with a heart broken, and she, you know, and I said, it's not you, it's me. It's one of those letters, you know. I need a lot of attention, and you're not giving me the attention I need, so I guess we're just going to have to part ways. And I kind of make it funny. But I also give them a button in that message that says, oh, no, this was a mistake, because they may have missed that first message. And if they click that one, it takes them back to the thing to, you know, subscribe again. You know, the thing about that, though, is that after that message gets sent, they're automatically removed from my list. They're unsubscribed. So they're manually unsubscribed. I had 20 people unsubscribe from my list today because they're lack of responders. You know, they don't respond. So does that answer your question, Gabe? I'll include those step-by-step procedures on exactly how to set up that drip campaign for that purge. But you will not get in trouble because you, the administrator, is the one that's doing the unsubscribe. MailChimp doesn't care if 100 people, if you unsubscribe 100 people today or your entire list, they don't care. It's the readers that if they do that, then they get in trouble. Then you get in trouble. Okay. Okay, you're very welcome. Do you have the website address for the past videos in the series? Yes, Christina said we were going to shut that out. And do you recommend KDP Select? I have been using it now since May, and actually I like it. I really do. But I use the strategy that I showed you on the previous slides there in regards to that pricing. Where is it? This one. Okay, this is the model that I used in regards to my Kindle Unlimited and why I think it works for us. There are 3 things, and I should have put this in here, but there are 3 things that I've noticed that make an author successful. And these 3 things have to work in harmony, and this is what we've tried to show you for the most part, even though we focus mostly on mailing lists here. You have to have, of course, you have to have a backlist. The more books you write, the more streams of income you get, okay? But having a huge backlist does not make sales for you. I have a friend, she's got 16 books. She is not selling one because she doesn't have a mailing list. That's the second element you need, is a mailing list, and you got to be active with that mailing list, okay? And the third element are ads. Now, we've tried to talk about ads, and we told you that ads actually will complement this program, but a backlist alone will not make you successful. A mailing list alone will not make you successful, although it will probably be the most successful one out of all 3, okay? Well, you still got to have books. Ads not only help drive sales and spikes, but they get people added to your mailing list. Now, All three of these have to work in harmony. You can't just have a mailing list, have a bunch of books, and do ads. Do the book funnels. Use your books as marketing tools. Everything that we've shown you in this webinar series should be setting you up for success. We've shown you long-term and short-term strategies, okay? You got to have links to either your giveaway or your mailing list in your books so that when people pick up a book out in the middle of nowhere, they've got something to discover. Your giveaway has your free book, your lead magnet. If you put that giveaway at the front, immediately someone doesn't even have to purchase your book. They can just go ahead and go, whoa, I'm getting a giveaway. That giveaway link is available right here in the book. I'll go ahead and do it. They'll get entered into a giveaway. And if they like, now they're on your mailing list. Now they've got a free book. Now they're going to start getting messages about your other books, okay? And a vast majority of those people will stick around. But the treasure seekers are going to leave. And it happens, you know. But we've told you how to talk to those people. Everything that we're teaching you here also appeals to your organic list. So, you know, just because you have something that says, you know, that appeals to a semi-cold lead or a warm lead, it will still appeal to a hot lead, okay? As a matter of fact, it'll probably appeal more to them, okay? So, yes, I do, you know, I do recommend KDP Select and a lot of these other strategies that we're looking at. So should I stay off Select while building my series, then go on it once the series is done? That's a call. I mean, you know, if you don't have a series and you don't have a backlist, just like those 3 elements that I said, don't expect great results. Okay, so here's the answer to the question, how do I quit my day job? Keep writing, build a mailing list, and you got to put money into advertising. The next question, how do I know how much to spend on ads? First of all, your money should be going into your mailing list, okay? And if you do ads, that's a leftover, okay? So mailing list will help you build enough sales to start paying for ads, okay? You know, as you already know, IsleOfVampireNovels.com, Romance Devoured, Reign of Reeds are very responsive audiences. And they have, and I know we're at 7:40 here, whoever's got to take off, please, you know, go ahead and do that. You can always follow up later. We're still recording. 20% of the money you have coming in should be going back into marketing, okay? And even if that means you take 20% off of your royalty checks and stick it in a jar, okay, then do that, because you got to give back to yourself. A lot of businesses spend everything that they have coming in as far as profit and put it right back into the business, okay? You're running a business. So when you think about how am I going to be successful, most businesses fail after 3 years, okay? Most businesses fail after 3 years. So how do you not fail? Make sure you don't give up. Don't give up. Don't stop writing. Don't stop building your mailing list. Get engaged with your readers. Do everything that we've been telling you guys to do. Realistic expectations are you're not going to be able to quit your day job until, I mean, a lot, and I can't say if you have 10,000 or 20,000 people on your mailing list, you can quit your day job. I can't promise you that because I don't know what you're doing, okay? But I do know that there are gals that I network out there with that are making $10,000 a month on a regular basis. Okay, one of the gals had said, yeah, I just told my husband that because, you know, we were having a baby and I had to stop writing for a little while and I didn't have that steady, you know, I wasn't able to put efforts into the books. Our income was going to drop to $30,000 this month. I went, drop? I can't even make that a year. You know? I was like, holy bananas, are you kidding me? Drop to $30,000. Her husband's response, oh, should I go get a job? I'm like, oh my God. Okay, so the people who are doing that kind of money, they're doing everything I'm telling you to do. Okay, and I've seen it starting to work. You know, I literally have my income from January to my figures that I just got last month literally went up 10 times. I wasn't making a whole lot of money, but damn, that was that's a huge thing. I'm almost able to pay my mortgage now. Okay, and we live in California. That's a lot of money. So that's let you know it does work. I'm seeing it work on mine. Am I making $10,000 a month? Not yet, but damn Skippy, I'm going to keep doing this stuff and I'm going to keep going. I only have 6 books on my list. Okay, so we got to keep putting ourselves out there. Okay, let me see. Let's see, do you have a recommended schedule for using KU with certain books and wide for others? I think I've answered that question as best I can. I really don't know. You got to experiment, and that's part of being a self-published author. You really have to experiment. I've tried wide, and I've tried KU when it was 20%, 10%, whatever it was, and now they've gone to page reads, and page reads have always been more successful for me because I write, 60, 70,000 words or more in my books. So you're just going to have to experiment. You can post a temporary picture for the cover. Oh, great, Kelly. Thank you very much for including that. If you want to do a cover reveal, then if you can post a temporary picture for your cover, if you want to do a cover reveal 90, closer to the date, like in your month promos, then go ahead and put up a question mark cover kind of thing. I've got a question mark cover where I've got the title, but I don't put the characters and whatever in there. And I don't put where the story is taking place. I don't know if any of you can, let me see. Ariel. This cover right here, for my series, this stays the same and this stays the same. But these characters here in the background that shows kind of the setting, those I leave out and I put a big question mark. That's like my, ooh, what's the cover going to be? So that's a great idea. Thank you, Kelly, for bringing that to my attention. That's awesome. So you can do a mystery cover. What is your suggestion if we only have less than 5,000 people on our list? Right now I'm at 440. Okay, so the person who asked that question, you know who you are. Some people don't like to go, no, don't tell everybody I've only got 440 on my mailing list. Have I answered that question already? So, okay, great. Okay. All right, I answered the question. He's laughing, going, no, that's okay. You can tell him. So some people are just so private about that. Okay, so let me see. How are we inserting the release campaign into the ongoing drip campaign, or do we stop that? No, do not stop your drip campaign that you have ongoing. Okay, you're going to do this on top of it. Okay, so you might want to temporarily set your current drip campaign to go out on certain days and kind of control it a little bit so that people aren't getting 2 emails in one day. That's a good question, DJ. So while you're doing a release, you might want to go in current drip campaign and do that thing where it only goes out from 8 to 11 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And do that for all your, unfortunately, it's one of those things where you got to go into every single one of your messages that you have on your drip campaign. And if you have like 30 or 40 messages on there, it's a little tedious. You may or may not want to go ahead and spend the time to do that. Okay, but it will go ahead and seclude, corner those people into those 2 days. And then your drip campaign could be, or your, what do you call it? Actually, probably do it like, I would do it like Wednesdays and Fridays. And then you can reserve your Tuesdays and every other, and then, I don't know, just have your, figure it out. Do the math. Put it on the calendar. See what it looks like, okay? What you don't want to do is have a whole bunch of emails coming on the same day. You don't want them to get bombarded with 4 messages a day. You might want to say drip campaign, you're only going to go out on Tuesdays, or you're only going to go out on Fridays for this month while I'm doing this. And then your other drip campaign will be a little bit more spread out. Okay, that's probably the better answer, is have your drip campaign narrowed down to 1 day a week. You might want to stick it on Saturday, so you leave the days during the week and the best days for promoting Tuesdays and Thursdays for your drip campaign for your new release. Okay, so don't stop your other one, just do that. All right. Let me see, I'm going to bounce the kids. Okay, thank you so much, Joe. I appreciate it. Any of these other questions, you'll be able to follow up and be able to zoom to the end to see if that, if you had any of those questions that you had. Do you have the, yeah, I did that. Let's see, wish I knew how to get reviews while on pre-order, because Amazon won't put it up until it's live. That's right. Okay, so one of the things that I said in this presentation, Christine, was that if you, when your reviewers can post while during pre-order on Goodreads, on their blogs, on Library Thing, on there's a whole bunch of other review sites out there, okay? And then what you can do is say, when you post your review, will you please share it on Facebook or Twitter or both? Because that'll help build the, you know, and I want to give people kudos for the reviews that you've written, okay? So that's what, and then when Amazon, when your book goes live and Amazon starts allowing those, that's when you send your reminder out to your review team, say, okay guys, the book is live on Amazon. Could you please go over and take your review that you've already done a wonderful job at? Could you please copy and paste it and put it over there on Amazon? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Make sure it's done this week, okay? And there you go. You know, they may or may not do it, but at least that answers that question. But Christine, it works in your favor on Amazon if all those reviews are suddenly posted during that first week. Your algorithms get affected, your ranking goes up, okay? So that it actually works in your favor, so it's not a bad thing. You can't do wide distribution with KU though. No, you can't. That's right, it's exclusive. Do we stop the regular drip campaign? Or we they already answered that. Unfortunately, I missed a lot of the series. I have to go back. Yes, Christine, go back and rewatch everything. It'll explain a lot of this stuff. Also consider marrying rich. That's super helpful. That's Joe's suggestion. Marry rich, then you'll have lots of money for advertising. Okay. All right, thank you very much, Joe. And then the APR leads have been a nice bonus too. Okay, any time frame on when the handouts for 8 and 10 are expected? Yes, Kelly, at the end of this week, I should have all of the handouts fixed, and all of the handouts for all the ones that I haven't posted yet should be posted by Friday, okay? That is all the questions that were unanswered. You are very welcome. Let me see. William says, FYI, I released a spooktacular treat email alerting people that they have a gift coming for Halloween. And I've had a huge click rate. It's huge for me. 30% open rate. That's awesome. That's above average in regards to our industry. A 10% click rate, which is amazing. And some have already converted to book sales. That's the point. And on Halloween, I'll be giving away book 3 to 20 people on my list. So that's awesome. That's a nice little giveaway you got there. That's great. You know, I think, William, you just started building your list with us only a few months ago, okay? So that's right. So the fact that you're already getting sales off of the activity that you're doing with your list is a huge testament to how important a mailing list is, okay? It's I can't stress it enough. It's the reason we're giving these classes. And I'll be honest with you, we had a lot of people sign up for our giveaways, and they got so excited when they got their first few hundred people on their list, and they went, woohoo! Now what do I do with them? And we were like, what? Why are you asking us to build your list? You don't even know what to do with them. So we knew how we didn't want those people sitting there in their MailChimp account collecting dust, and then when they send that first message out when they get a new release, they all do this mass exodus. You know, that's not, and then they go, well, mailing lists don't work. No, they do. You just got to do them right, and that's what we're trying to show you through this whole series here. Okay? So excellent. Thanks so much for sharing that, William. Anyone else have any questions or anything? Okay, that is the end of this series, and I don't know if we're going to have any more unless we get a lot of questions from you guys. How do you do this? How do you do that? If we didn't cover it in the series, we might be able to go ahead and tack on some other ones. But I will let you know, and Johnny said he was going to help me with this as well in regards to going, hey guys, go over here for a little bit too. I'm going to be teaching a lot of video courses, and I'm going to have things on my website. I'm putting up a new website now. It's called Author Bank, and making bank on your books is what my slogan is going to be. And I'm going to have top 5 things you should and shouldn't do in self-publishing, short videos that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to have what I call smarticles. They're articles that are give you real smart tips And all that stuff's going to be on my website. So as soon as I get that, you can actually go to mysticalpress.com, which is my temporary website, mysticalpress.com, and you can sign up to be on my mailing list. And as soon as that website's up, I can go ahead and notify you guys. And there's going to be a lot of free stuff, but the deep, extensive, step-by-step, show you how to do this in MailChimp and take you step-by-step through a drip campaign and all that, those are going to be the courses that are going to be extensive that you want to spend time with, okay? Yes, Christine, absolutely. And so that'll be a lot more in depth that we've been able to go in here in the series. So we'll give you a notice when I've got that up, okay? Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for all that you guys do. You people are the ones that make our job a joy. So thank you very much, and you guys have a wonderful night.